them and rescue them so they can be survivors. So
yeah, I wanted to quickly piggyback, you know, because I think Fiametta made some important points, especially on the side of peer-to-peer recruitment. You know, so traffickers, you know, again, you know, they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that they kind of get away with no charges, you know, when it comes to this crime. And so they've become much more sophisticated and intelligent. And basically what they've done now is, so this will happen within the schools, you know, and this can happen in the after school program. So these are, you know, things that can be happening right in front of the school community, where they have now gotten other peers to actually find, you know, boys and girls within high schools, you know, or elementary schools, let's say, to recruit them into the industry. So, you know, come skip school with me. We're going to go meet my new friend. Like, you know, he's so cool. You know, all of these kinds of, you know, things are going on. And then, you know, the trafficker, you know, is not the one that's getting charged with recruiting, you know, and unfortunately this is happening so much. And it's really sad when charges are coming up and you have these girls that have, you know, gone through trafficking and now they're facing federal charges as 18 and 19-year-olds for recruiting, you know, because they started off as victims themselves. And now they're the ones that are facing the same charges that traffickers are facing. And these are some of the things that we're trying to work on and trying to figure out how, you know, can we fix laws so that victims, unfortunately, don't end up facing some of these major charges.
Because at that point, you're saying, I was a victim, and then when I started recruiting, I then became
a trafficker, a perpetrator, you know. And so, and what traffickers do is they create a hierarchy, you know, and so, you know, the bottom girl, you know, traffickers kind of create this pseudo family. When people think of trafficking, everyone most of the time again thinks of the kidnapping, of the chains. This is not, I tell people all the time when we do trainings, you know, you cannot think of children being, you know, tied up to a bed and wearing handcuffs and, you know, with ropes around their arms and ankles, and they're just kidnapped and being forced. And it is mental chains. You know, what they do is they exploit vulnerability, they exploit love, they exploit family, they exploit the things that are missing, children that are bullied in school, children that feel alone, children whose parents might be going through a divorce and you know, they feel like their world is falling apart. You know, a trafficker knows how to just zoom in and hone in on those things with children, unfortunately, and exploit that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I want to be able to share as well is that, you know, about part of, you know, what I want to be able to do it also as an advocate, and I think as a community, we need to also come together, like Marta said, is really figure out a way that we can change the laws, because a lot of them are not pro the victim, you know. So it really is scary. It's like, okay, I'm coming forward and I am, you know, making a very risky, courageous decision, and now you're gonna
charge me,
you know, you're gonna charge me, and you're, you know, my my trafficker, you know, might be off before I am. Like, that's really, really frustrating to get me, to be honest. I'm very, it boils my blood. So a part of being an advocate is also figuring out how we can come together and really change the laws, you know, where these children who are victims, they can really have a significant stand when they do go to court, you know, because it takes a lot. And even from a woman's perspective, you know, let's keep in mind, having this vulnerable, like, she wants to, you know, she becomes a trafficker. Let's think about it. You know, she's probably been trafficked since she was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. She's now 25. She probably slept with like maybe at least 10 men a day in those days. So here comes my pimp, my trafficker, that's telling me, you're the one, you're going to be my number one girl. If you really love me, go ahead and find, you know, go get me some other girls. Not only is she going to do that because she wants to please him, you know, and wants to keep that love going on, but at the same time, she's like, well, if you take some of the, that way and I don't have to sleep as much, man, then I'm going to do it. You know, there's different ways, but she's still a victim. So it's so important that we really, I'm not there yet. I definitely want to learn and educate myself on how I can, not me, I think as a community, we can come together and really advocate and really change local laws.
And I think it's important for anybody, if you take anything, you know, also from this conversation, it's also understanding, again, this is not something where children are kidnapped, you know, children are, they're running away from. Many of the kids that we work with at Project Gold, you know, we have girls that come in from the age of 12, and we work with girls. We say that once they become a member of Project Gold, they're a member for life. So we have girls that are in the program that are, you know, 21 or 22 years old. Many of them initially, they don't understand that they are a trafficking victim. You know, that is not something that they understand at all, because to them, they've been in a relationship with the trafficker. You know, so when teachers are thinking, or after school care workers, or anybody is thinking of approaching a child, you have to be very strategic in how you speak to the child or ask the child questions, knowing that this child is very loyal and it's going to have a very close and a very obsessive and infatuated relationship with their trafficker. So how you approach that, you know, you have to be very, very strategic and very careful, you know, within the discussions and the questions that you ask.